The dominance of FBS college football teams over their FCS opponents this season has been nothing short of staggering, and it's raising some serious questions about the state of the game. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this surge in blowouts just a fluke? Or is it a sign of deeper issues like talent concentration and scheduling imbalances? Let's dive into the numbers and matchups that are turning heads. Take a look at the early season trends. Through the first 3 weeks, the average margin of victory in the Football Bowl subdivision, FBS, stands at a whopping 25.5 points per game. When you narrow it down to games involving at least one team from a power conference, that average jumps even higher to 28.9 points. To put that in perspective, 53 games have already been decided by 40 points or more. These are the highest figures recorded this early in a season since at least the year 2000, according to data from Sportradar. Scoring has also been off the charts. 8 games have seen winners rack up at least 70 points, and there have been 25 games where the winning team scored 60 or more points, the most since 2018. Even more striking, 8 FBS teams are currently averaging 50 points or more per game, the highest number at this stage since 2019. These stats suggest offenses are firing on all cylinders, but it also hints at a growing disparity in competition. So, what's behind this wave of blowouts? Is it simply a statistical anomaly, or could it be linked to the record 126 FCS-FBS matchups scheduled this year, which might be skewing results? Another theory is that powerhouse programs are hoarding talent, leveraging their financial muscle to build rosters that overwhelm lesser-funded teams. The truth is, no one can say for sure just yet. Now let's break down some key matchups to watch this week. Florida visits number 1. 4. Miami, -7.5. Florida's DJ Lagway is still recovering from a rough outing with 5 interceptions against LSU, while Miami's Carson Beck boasts the highest passing accuracy in the nation through Week 3. Gators coach Billy Napier recently said, "We're close to being pretty dangerous, but Miami is already there." Prediction: Miami 27-17. Oregon State travels to number 6 Oregon, -35.5. The Ducks have dominated the Beavers in the last 2 Civil War games and look poised to continue that trend. Oregon must stay focused, though, as they have a tough game at Penn State next week. Oregon State is off to an 0-3 start for the first time since 2011. Prediction: Oregon 52-10. Kent State faces number 7 Florida State, -45.5. The Seminoles have made a rare leap from unranked preseason status to a top 10 spot by Week 3, a feat only 3 other teams have achieved since 1989. Kent State hasn't beaten a power conference team since 2007. Prediction: Florida State 55-6. Number 8 Texas hosts San Houston, +39.5. After Arch Manning's shaky performance against UTEP, Texas fans are anxious to see how he handles one of the nation's weakest pass defenses. This game could set the tone for Texas's SEC campaign. Prediction: Texas 45-7. Number 19 Indiana welcomes number 9 Illinois, +4.5. Indiana has a chance to prove last year's success wasn't a fluke, while Illinois is battling perceptions of being overrated. For Illinois, this game is nearly a must-win if they want to keep college football playoff hopes alive. Prediction: Illinois 31-24. Auburn visits number 11 Oklahoma, -6.5. Auburn needs to establish its running game to keep the ball away from Oklahoma's QB John Mateer. Auburn's QB Jackson Arnold returns to Norman to face his former team, but with Auburn allowing 7 sacks so far, expect Oklahoma's defense to apply heavy pressure. Prediction: Oklahoma 30-21. Tulane travels to number 13 Mississippi, +11.5. If QB Austin Simmons isn't fully healthy, Mississippi has faith in Division II transfer Trinidad Chambliss, who impressed against Arkansas. Tulane is aiming for its 3rd win over a power conference opponent this season. Prediction: Mississippi 35-27. Number 15 Tennessee hosts UAB, -39.5. After a tough loss to Georgia, the Volunteers are expected to bounce back strongly. Tennessee's offense ranks 6th nationally, averaging 569 yards per game, while UAB's defense ranks near the bottom, allowing 473 yards per game. Prediction: Tennessee 56-10. Number 16 Utah faces number 17 Texas Tech, +3. These two teams boast the top offenses in the Big 12. Texas Tech's Baron Morton is putting up eye-popping passing stats, leading a unit averaging a nation-best 58 points per game. Utah relies heavily on its rushing attack, averaging 290 yards on the ground. Prediction: Texas Tech 38-31. Temple visits number 18 Georgia Tech, -23.5. Georgia Tech must avoid a letdown after their emotional win over Clemson. Temple gave up 515 yards to Oklahoma last week and now faces a Haynes King-led offense that's just as potent. Prediction: Georgia Tech 45-10. Number 20 Vanderbilt hosts Georgia State, -26.5. Vanderbilt's focus over the next 2 weeks is on keeping players healthy and giving backups valuable playing time. Prediction: Vanderbilt 38-3. Number 21 Michigan travels to Nebraska, -2.5. If Michigan's Bryce Underwood can settle into his first Big Ten road game, his dual threat ability will pose a challenge. Nebraska struggled against Cincinnati's QB in their opener, allowing 96 rushing yards. Prediction: Michigan 28-24. South Carolina visits number 23 Missouri, +11.5. The Gamecocks are desperate to rebound from a home loss to Vanderbilt and will rely on QB Lenoris Sellers, who is recovering from a head injury. Missouri has won 7 straight SEC home games. Prediction: Missouri 34-28. Purdue travels to number 24 Notre Dame, +24.5. Notre Dame's 2 losses this season have been by a combined 4 points, so this game shouldn't be close. However, Purdue looks improved under first-year coach Barry Odom, despite last year's 66-7 home loss to the Irish. Prediction: Notre Dame 35-14. Michigan State visits number 25 USC, -18.5. USC's Jaden Mayava is averaging 330 passing yards per game and holds the highest passer rating nationally. Michigan State's defense has struggled against the pass. Prediction: USC 45-21. Looking back at last week's predictions, the straight-up record was an impressive 17-2, while picks against the spread were 12-7. For the season so far, straight-up predictions stand at 42-6, with a more modest 25-23 against the spread. So, what do you think? Are these blowouts a sign that the gap between FBS and FCS teams is widening dangerously? Or is it just part of the natural ebb and flow of college football? Could the increasing number of FCS-FBS matchups be diluting competition? Or are powerhouse programs simply outspending and out-recruiting everyone else? Share your thoughts. Do you agree that this trend is concerning? Or do you see it as an exciting era of offensive fireworks? Let's get the conversation started.